Hi, welcome to twobros.com. Right now I'm doing my daily exercise routine. Actually, I'm doing the most effective, most efficient exercise known to science, called rebound exercise. Right now, every cell in my body, from my hair to my toenails, is being exercised. The bottom line with any kind of exercise, the common denominator, whether it's lifting weights, swimming, bicycling, doing calisthenics, whatever, the common denominator is that you're overcoming gravity. And when you rebound, you're working with the force of gravity plus acceleration and deceleration. So those two forces are being coupled with gravity, and that's being applied to every cell in your body, not just muscle cells and not just certain muscle groups, but every cell, as I mentioned, from my hair to my toenails. So when you have an increased G-force or gravitational force being applied to the cells, they get stronger. Another benefit of rebound exercise is that it circulates lymphatic fluid in your lymph system. Lymphatic fluid is carried away from all the cells of the body. Each cell lives in a watery environment, like a fish in a fishbowl. And everything that fish gets, just like the cell, has to go through that water first to get to the cell. Oxygen, food, everything that cell consumes has to go through that liquid medium. And then, just like with the fish, the cell excretes its waste back into that same fluid. So if that fluid isn't being filtered somehow, it will become stagnant, and then the fish or the cells will die. So the same condition happens in the body. When that fluid isn't being carried away by the lymphatic system, it's like the central vacuum cleaning system of the body. It drains this fluid constantly, and it goes through filtration stations called lymph nodes that are all through the body. And these are loaded with immune cells called lymphocytes. So when you rebound, this fluid is circulated 16 to 20 times more than any other exercise known. Now in this lymphatic system you have a series of, they're like blood vessels, but there's no pumping the fluid like with the blood vessels. So in the lymphatic system there's a series of one-way valves that only allow the movement in one direction of lymph. So when you rebound, when you're going up and down, the hydrostatic pressure applied above and below those valves pumps the fluid in one direction. So every time you bounce, about 100 times a minute, you're exerting that hydrostatic force on that fluid, and it's moving it, it's draining it from all your tissues. And it's going to end up back in the bloodstream. 3/4 of the body's lymph fluid drains into the left side of the body, right under the collarbone in the subclavian vein. The head and the right arm drain on the right side under the right collarbone into the subclavian vein there. So once these toxins, these proteins that have leaked out of the capillaries, the waste products from the cells, dead cell residue, all of this goes back into the bloodstream to get further processed by the liver, kidneys, and immune cells. So when you rebound, you circulate this fluid 16 to 20 times more than any other exercise. Same with your immune cells, the lymphocytes are circulated 16 to 20 times more. Another benefit of rebounding is that it gives you increased cardiovascular endurance for your heart and lungs. So it has threefold benefits. Now the springs absorb 7/8 of the shock trauma from your weight-bearing joints. So it's very safe, even if you had demineralized bones like with osteoporosis. Actually, rebounding helps strengthen the bone density and build the bone density. If you have a herniated disc, you can still safely rebound without injuring yourself. It'll actually help the situation. So this is the safest, most effective, most efficient exercise known to science. NASA uses rebounding with the astronauts when they come back from deep space. If they've been there for very long, they've lost an appreciable amount of bone density from being in a zero gravity environment. So the body needs the bones of the body, the long bones, to be stressed in order to maintain bone density. So they have the astronauts rebound, and within 2 weeks their bone density is back to normal. So that's another benefit of rebounding. And you should do this about 20 minutes. And if you're not used to this, you have to work up to it. Start with a minute or two a day. And if, I don't know if you noticed, my feet are not leaving the surface of the rebounder. So you don't have to bounce real high to benefit from this. Now, as you get used to this, what you do to increase the challenge is you bounce a little higher. It would be like adding more weights if you're weightlifting. Once you reach a plateau, you add more weight to make it more challenging. Same with the rebounder. You just jump a little bit higher and increases the workload. But you don't have to do that for a typical maintenance type exercise program. Now, if you're doing a cancer detox or something, you have to do this 20 minutes 3 times a day. That's an hour total. That's like going to the gym for an hour. But you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. One size fits all. You don't need expensive running shoes. You don't have to pay for spa membership. So this is a required and recommended tool for everybody to have if they're going to turn their health around and if you just want to maintain your health in general.